Alright guys, what's going on? Foxtrot Delta back here. We are going to go back to the Learning Center here, and we are going to do the next lessons. Alright, slow fight. I've already kind of browsed over this. You know, again, right now we're in really basic stuff, so if you have any courses in, wait, hold on. Let's get the flight stick in there. We go. Alright, so if you guys have had any courses in aerodynamics before, you're gonna you're gonna know this stuff, right? It's pretty basic stuff. So let's go ahead and get into the lesson, because I know right now recording quietly does not do as well and doesn't sound as good on the mic, even though we've got a nice mic. I know that with the background sounds and all that stuff, you know, it's gonna sound a lot better with some background sounds. Get a little music or a little drum of the propeller going, and the terrain data loaded up. And somebody said, Fox, why don't you just load up the lesson before you do the before you do it, so that way everything's good to go. You know what, that's a damn good idea, and I'm gonna try to remember to do that next time. That's why, because I keep forgetting to, honestly.
In this lesson, we're going to slow things down a bit. We're going to practice slow flight, or flying just above the stall speed. Master slow flight, and you are indeed on your way to mastering the airplane. Remember, do your homework before starting this flight. We're up in the air at 4,000 feet over Puget Sound, a nice, safe altitude. I want you to feel comfortable operating at slow speeds, so you'll know how to control the aircraft as you're operating in the traffic pattern and when you're approaching to land. Because slow flight is close to stalling, you'll need to know where the critical spots are. But don't worry, I won't let you get into too much trouble today. No, I'm not wearing a parachute either. If you see me wearing one, then that's when you need to start worrying yourself. I'd like to demonstrate the relationship between airspeed and angle of attack. You could read more about it in the ground school section. As we reduce the power and airspeed decreases, we need to increase the angle of attack to maintain sufficient lift for level flight. As we increase power and the airspeed increases, we need to decrease the angle of attack to maintain altitude. This relationship between angle of attack and airspeed is an important one. It's a relationship that you can't get out of, nor should you want to.
There it is.
Watch how I must increase the pitch attitude, or angle of attack in this case, to hold altitude as the airplane's speed decreases. As the airplane slows down, I must increase the angle of attack to maintain sufficient lift to keep the airplane flying in level flight. As the airspeed decreases below 70 knots, you can easily see how much the angle of attack must increase to keep the airplane in the air at this slower speed. You can fly an airplane at any speed between cruise speed and stall speed. Now, what's stall speed? Well, that's coming up in a future lesson. The most important thing here is to understand that as you slow the airplane down, you must increase its angle of attack to maintain the desired flight condition, which, in our situation, was straight and level flight. And you'll need to add power to remain in straight and level flight.
That's one thing I was wondering about, was does he retrim with the autopilot? Does the autopilot retrim essentially? So Rod is the autopilot. Rod's flying is just a free...
Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay.
Reduce the power to about 1500 RPM and allow the airspeed to slow to 60 knots. Slow down. You're too high. Descend.
Working.
You're too low. Climb.
Am I too low? Oh yeah, I am, just barely. There we go.
You're too low. Climb.
Stall. We need to get up. Get back up to 4,000. There we go. Alright, so bring the speed back, engine speed back down to 1,500. Okay, he wants me to climb all the way up to 4,000. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Alright. I have 4,000 now. Decrease engine to that. Alright, a little bit of nose down, a little bit of nose down. There we go. And a little bit of nose up. And there we go. So attitude. Throttle. Trim. I'm trying to trim out to 60. It's not liking it. Like the plane doesn't want to do 60 knots. Oh, it's gonna keep going down. I can't get below. If I get below 3,900, then that's when he starts yelling at me.
Since that's not going well,
There
I'm going
it
to
is.
end this lesson now. I'd like to suggest that you take this lesson again.
Alright, so we're gonna restart it.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Alright.
Reduce the power to about 1,500 RPM and allow the airspeed to slow to 60 knots.
Okay, so my biggest thing is maintaining that needle.
Slow down.
I'm working on it.
You're too low. Climb.
Oh, am I? Yep. Power.
Speed up. Slow down.
Climb to 4,000. Alright, there's 4,000. Now power off. I'm trimmed. Should be trimmed right about 65. Alright, did we get it? Did we get it? Ooh, we might have got it. Might have got it this time. Alright, a little bit more nose up. A little bit more nose up. Alright, I'm gonna give it a little manual nose up so I don't get yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at. There we go.
Since that's not going well, I'm going to end this lesson now. I'd like to suggest that you take this
Oh,
lesson again.
man. So much fun. So here we go again.
Are you ready? Let's go. Reduce the power to about 1,500 RPM and allow the airspeed to slow to 60 knots.
Okay, why? There we go.
Slow down.
Oh, trust me, I'm slowing.
You're too low. Climb. You're too low. Climb.
That's all it was. My power was off. Alright, let's try this again with the right power setting.
When you get there, you'll have to increase the power to nearly 2,000 RPM to maintain 4,000 feet at 60 knots.
Yeah, you tell me. Holy crap, we might actually get it this time.
Adjustments to pitch to maintain 60 knots and adjustments to power to hold 4,000 feet. Use sufficient nose-up trim to reduce the back pressure needed on the joystick to keep the airplane in this attitude. This is how you enter slow flight while maintaining your altitude. So, if you're following a slower airplane as you're
so we're
approaching
trimmed
land,
all the way
at
up.
least you know how to slow down to avoid chewing off the tail of his airplane with your propeller, right? This is also another reason why we practice slow flight. Excellent. Now I want you to exit slow flight and return to straight and level flight at 4,000 feet. I'm still controlling the bank for you while you do the rest. I want you to add power and simultaneously lower the nose. As the airplane begins to accelerate, lower the nose at a rate that allows you to maintain altitude. See how the airplane is accelerating while maintaining altitude? Fantastic. When you reach 100 knots, reduce power to 2,500 RPM and trim for cruise flight. You're too high. Descend.
Yeah, I'm planning on it.
You're too high. Descend.
There we go.
When you reach 100 knots, reduce engine RPM to maintain 100 knots. You're too high. Descend. This is how you exit slow flight and return to a faster cruise flight condition. You remember when I said we always use attitude, power, and trim in that order? Well, there are a few exceptions. One is when exiting slow flight. It's best to add power and simultaneously lower the nose. If we lowered the nose first, then added power, we might lose a little altitude as we accelerate. No sense doing this if we don't have to. You can see that in order to maintain altitude, you must decrease the wings angle
Doing a lot
of attack.
better.
Do you see how a faster speed allows the airplane to fly at a lower angle of attack? Can you see the relationship between angle of attack and airspeed? Now, if you're not getting this, refer to the ground school session on the topic of slow flight. This is a very important topic, and you must understand the aerodynamics involved here for any of this to make sense. I think you probably have many questions, but now it's time to practice on your own. I'm going to cut you loose to practice entering and exiting slow flight. So practice flying at speeds between 100 knots and 50 knots. Hopefully this won't put knots in your stomach. Make sure you maintain altitude as you do this, and if you're feeling daring, you can even try a small turn while you're in slow flight. Just add power as necessary to maintain altitude and adjust that pitch to maintain your airspeed.
Alright guys, I think that's got it. Don't forget to check out foxtrotdeltausn.com. This HOTAS is there. If you guys are wondering what I'm using, go to foxtrotdeltausn.com, click on my equipment. It is there, I promise. Other than that, I'm going to fly this lesson a couple more times, I think. But I don't know that you guys want to see that. In the future, if you guys want to see, you know, me practicing and practicing, let me know. I will release this video of me practicing as an extra for the Patreons. So the guys on Patreon will be able to see all the extras. Other than that, FoxtrotDeltaUSN.com. Guys, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Hugs and shit. I will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. After you have done that, check out FoxtrotDeltaUSN.com. You can check out all the awesome offers from our partners. You can join the Patreon and see videos up to 7 days before they're released on YouTube. But wait, there's more. The merch store has something for everyone. Well, I think that was long enough of an ad. See you in the next one.